Everybody ready for part two of demystifying Dubsado? And this part, what I want to do is go through the settings for your brand that is available up here. So if you go to your name, whether that's the name of your brand or your name, you can see login settings. That's where you'll change your password, billing, some affiliate information, and how to log out. And then under brands, you can switch back and forth between different brands that you might have. But if we go over here to the cogwheel, this is where we're going to set up everything for your brand. So here we can add our logo, we can add street information, a notification email, change colors, add users, set up your domain, all kinds of stuff. So we're just going to go one by one through these. First, let's look at our brand specific settings. So let's go up and we can upload a new image for our brand. Let me find something here. Let's do an old one that I've had. So that will upload that. And then we can change the color here. So I like my reds. So I'm going to pick a red here for my main color. Of course, if you have a brand, you probably have some colors that you already have. The name, a business email, and business phone. Here, if the name of your brand is different than your business name, you can select to have it come from either your name or your business. So you can decide how you want it to appear in the emails that you send. So if we go to dashboard, this is our dashboard. So this link here in Dubsado. So here, pretty much all you can do is change if you want to see the financial indicators, and then also kind of your color scheme. I'm going to change it to black, purple, orange. Blue. Why not? I like blue. So once you save that, you'll see that this has changed and some of the colors in your dashboard will change. Your portal. So your portal is a place where your clients can go and see any correspondence between you and them. You have to set up your portal for your clients. So this is something that you may do later and not right away. Here you can see just some of the settings for the portal. So if you want a specific logo, you can upload it here. You can kind of change the name of the portal. So let's say you're in photography, and instead of projects, you want it to say photo shoots or something like that, so that they can go in and see that. You can also upload a banner, do my logo again, and then change also the colors. So if I want it to be more of a red, font color, the summary header color, and the summary font color. Here we also have a direct link to the portal, but this is important to note. I kind of got caught up in this, is that if you activate the portal, you need to set up a password so that they can go to it from this link. Otherwise, they're going to need to go to it from a specific link if you just want them to put in their email, which is the other option. Save. Multi-users, I think, is a great thing. Fortunately, the first 3 users are free, and I really like that because you probably don't have, or you may not have a full team where you have to do $25 a month or upwards from that using Dubsado. Dubsado is really aimed, I think, towards small businesses, towards solopreneurs. But with the first 3 being free, you can add people that may be helping you with the process. So if you have a virtual assistant, if you have someone who's helping you get started with Dubsado, you can go in and invite them here, and then they can have access to your Dubsado. Oh, it doesn't show you. One nice thing about it is that you can also add in the roles, you have like an admin that has full access to everything. You also have kind of more of a financial, and then kind of just a user where they have just really basic settings. You can also set up teams. So if you have various teams, like maybe a marketing team, you can go in and set up teams with members to assign tasks to, which is pretty nice. The international settings, this is just going to have your basic time zone and your language. And then if you need to change the currency, if you're in Canada or Europe or something like that, you may have a different currency symbol. Receiving money is very important. So here you need to choose the base country. So we're in the United States, but you may have Canada or something else. And then the currency to receive, we're going to receive the United States dollar. Once you save that, then you will see options to connect with Stripe, to connect with Square, or to connect with PayPal. And PayPal can be used with Square or Stripe connected, or it can be used on its own. Just kind of nice. And then on the invoice, you can select to show the company name or just have your individual name. And you can also go in here and edit terms. So if you have specific terms of when it needs to be paid by, or how long the invoice is good for, so forth, you can add that directly in there. Emails is one of the things I absolutely love about Dubsado. So Dubsado has the ability to bring in all your email and show all the correspondence between somebody, between a client and yourself, which makes it really easy to go back and see, okay, I sent this at this time, or this is what I told them and I need to change that, or, I set a deadline for this or something like that. There's two ways to do this. One is to sign in with Google. This is probably the easiest way if you have Google. If you don't have Google, then you need to tell your email address to forward all emails to this individualized email that is replies@dubsado.com. Let's go in and we'll do sign in with Google. So I'm going to just do my Gooset account. I have a lot of Google accounts. Okay, well, we'll just get out of that for now. I don't want to try and fix that up. So, let's go back to emails. So, signing in with Google is really easy. You can see the process until I can't remember my password. That you just go in and put in your username and password, and then it sets everything up here. Integrations, Dubsado does support API keys, and it does support two different direct integrations. One is CloudSpot for photo and file galleries. This is very much for photography companies, I believe. And then the other one is QuickBooks for doing online management of your accounting through QuickBooks, which is a really nice integration, since I feel like that's actually one of the things that Dubsado is lacking. So they've partnered with QuickBooks to be able to put in all of the payments that you receive in Dubsado, and then in QuickBooks you can kind of keep track of everything else. Domain names. One really cool thing about Dubsado is that instead of having that long address for your portal, if you're using the portal, you can do something like portal.cusat.com, which is a custom domain that I have. You do have to set this up by setting up a CNAME, which can be a little bit complicated. But please contact me if you need help with this, and I'd be happy to get you started at least. Here, this is just kind of the page title, description, some SEO information for that, and your fave icon image and your preview image if you do that. Custom mapped fields, I think, is one of the biggest kind of unique things about Dubsado. I haven't seen this in another system yet, and it's really cool because we keep track of addresses and phone numbers and names and email addresses by default for our clients. But what if there's something specific to a client that you also want to keep track of, or specific to a project? Let's say, for example, I do web design and web development. And so I created custom fields that would have their address, their development website address, so that was saved, and I could bring that into different forms. I could bring it into emails and quickly access that information. You can also do things like maybe for some reason you need to know children's names, or you need to know a birth date or something like that. Things that aren't included in the default fields for a client and a project can be added here. And so fields are for a client are going to stay with the client no matter how many projects you have with them. Fields with a project are going to stay with that individual project, and if they create a new project, then you'll get a whole new set of fields. So for example, if I'm doing web design, I may have project fields for those web development addresses, but maybe in the client I'll have kind of how they contacted me, whether it was Facebook or email or something like that. That could be a custom field too. This is just kind of a way to expand and completely customize your experience in Dubsado and what you're keeping track of. It adds a whole database kind of management of your projects and clients that you can customize and really power use for what your brand is and what your industry is. And then last is general settings. So date conflicts and appointment schedule conflicts. One of the things that Dubsado has is an appointment scheduler, kind of like Acuity, if you've ever heard of Acuity. So this will go in and check if you bring in a calendar from, like, let's say Gmail or various calendars. This will go in and check all the conflicting dates, and if you have a scheduler and you have something blocked off, then it won't let someone schedule at that time, which is really useful because a lot of us are managing being a mom and trying to run the business, and we want consultations. But what if we have a last minute doctor's appointment that we have to take our kiddo to, and so that's on our calendar, but we didn't have the chance to go in and block that off in Dubsado. So this will automatically make sure that you don't get double booked. So these are the settings under the cogwheel. These are, again, your brand settings. It didn't seem like it saved my logo there. Let's put it back up. This is just kind of a way to get everything feeling kind of more your own, and you can think of high level things like the custom mapped fields, or who you might want to invite, or if you want to use the portal or not, and just kind of customize it, change the colors around, make it feel a little bit more yours, so then you can dive in and set up more of the nitty-gritty stuff. So in our dashboard, we were kind of following up on the tasks here. So I kind of veered off for this one and went into the basic brand settings, but next time we will go over just in general how to do contracts, proposals, and questionnaires, and creating a job and sending an invoice, And then in future ones, I may go into each of these even deeper because there's a lot that goes into that. Thanks for watching.